Hi, welcome to Filter Media. It's Pelgi again, and I'm glad that you have joined us today. So, as promised, today we are going to cover part 2 of academic writing. In part 1, we looked at the content and the structure of academic writing. In part 2, we are going to look at the different styles of academic writing. And when we talk about styles, the simplest way I will define styles, I'll say that these are set guidelines or standards that dictate how the work should be formatted. So it is from the styles where we tell how to cite the work, where to put the topic, and things of the sort. So there are many styles of writing. Examples, you have things like the Harvard writing style, Chicago, APA, and MLA, amongst others. So the most frequently used writing styles in academic writing is APA and MLA. So in this video, we are going to focus on APA and MLA writing styles. So I'll start with APA. And APA is an abbreviation of the word American Psychological Association. So APA has been evolving over time, and currently the dominant APA being used is APA 7. So this is how APA 7 looks like. This is how you format your work using APA 7. So the first thing we have is what we call a cover page. So on the cover page, we'll have the topic of the work you're writing on. If you're talking about sugar, you'll say maybe sugar in Kenya, and the topic is sugar production in Kenya. That will be the topic. You put it in bold, then you center it. Then right below the topic, we will have the name of the student, the name of the institution, that is below the name of the student, the name of the institution, then the course code, the instructor's name, and then the date. So all of them should also be centered, but unlike the topic, they are not bolded. Then after the cover page, we go to now the main work. So the main work, where the introduction is, that is above the introductory paragraph, we have the title of the work. So you write the title of the work, you write it in bold, and then center it. Then after the title of the work, we have the work itself. So when you're writing the work, one thing that you should note is anytime, that is in the introduction and the body of the work, anytime you state a fact or you paraphrase or quote something from somewhere else, you are supposed to cite it. If, for example, we're talking about sugar, if you say that Kenya started producing sugar in 1915, you have to give us evidence. How have you known that Kenya started producing sugar in 1915? So you're supposed to cite. But since it is within the work, that type of citation is called in-text citation. So every time you state a point that is a fact, or that is something quoted or paraphrased, you're supposed to give us an in-text citation. So in APA, the in-text citation, you write the name of the author, that is the surname, the name of the author, and then with the year of publication. So if you have two authors, you write both their names, that is their surnames, author A and B, then comma, and then the year of publication. But if the authors are more than two, you just write the name of the first author, the first name that appears, that is the surname, and then you write et al, and then you give us the year of publication. Then still in the work, towards the end of the work. We said in the previous video that we have what we call the conclusion. So in APA, before the conclusory paragraph, we actually write the word conclusion, depending on the type of question. If you are asked to write it, you're supposed to write the word conclusion. So in APA, you write conclusion, you will center it, and it should be in bold. Then after writing that topic, conclusion, you give us the conclusory paragraph. Then after that, the next thing we have is what we call the reference page. So in the references, the word references is also bolded and it is centered. Then there, that is where you now give us, okay, in the body you gave us the in-text citation. So in the references, you now give the citations in full. So in APA, when you're giving the citations, you're supposed to write the name of the author, you write the year of publication, the topic, the publisher, and things of the sort. So how to write the references? Okay, we have so many sites for writing references, so that should not stress you. So just so that in the reference page you put the references, and as you write the references are arranged in alphabetical order. So reference 1, if reference 1 started in the surname of the author, of the first author, started with the letter A, let's say somebody like maybe Amanda, and then we have another reference where the surname of the first author is starting with let's say a C, somebody like Christine. So you will arrange it. The first reference will be the one that starts with an A, then the second one will be the one that starts with a C. And then something else about APA, you have to have the page numbers. So in APA 7, we do not have a running head. You just write the page number as it is. That is, the page number is written on the top right part, the top right. That is where the page number goes. That is basically how APA looks. Those are the basic things that you should know about APA. And then the next writing style is MLA. So MLA is also an abbreviation. It's an abbreviation of the word Modern Language Association. So unlike APA, in MLA, we do not have a cover page. So the work begins, when you look at it, the first page contains the work itself, and it is on the first page where you write your personal details. That is the name of the student and the institution, the course code, the instructor's name, and the date. So those personal details, they are written on the top left corner, so it should be justified. Top left corner, structure is justified. Then after writing those details, the next thing we have is now the topic of the work. So the topic of the work, this time you write the topic, it is still going to be centered, but in MLA, we do not bold it. It is just written like that. Don't italicize, don't underline, don't bold, just write it like that and leave it like that. Then afterwards, skip a line. Then after skipping the line, you now go to the introductory paragraph. That is the first paragraph. So like APA, we also do in-text citation here. But unlike APA, when you're doing in-text citation, what we write the name of the author, that is the surname, and the page number. So in MLA, after writing the surname, you do not put a comma, you just write the surname, then immediately write the page number. So it is surname space page number in brackets. Actually in APA also, all those things, the in-text citation should be in brackets. Then after that, when it comes to the conclusion, in MLA we also have that word conclusion that comes right before the conclusory paragraph. But unlike APA, in MLA we do not center the word conclusion. We leave it at the margin. It remains at the margin. I can say it is justified. And you do not bold it, and then you do not center it. It is at the margin. And then after writing the word conclusion, the conclusion paragraph also, it also begins from the margin. Yes. And then after that, the next thing in MLA is the references. So in MLA, what we have for the references, it's called our works cited page, and it's a page that stands on its own. So instead of writing references, you write works cited, and as you write works cited, you're going to center it, but you don't bold it. Then you will write the references. That is the full form of the works you in-text cited. So you'll write them according to MLA format, and then after writing it like APA, they also are supposed to be arranged in alphabetical order. So how to write the references, as I said earlier, we have apps for that. So we have things like Google Scholar and Cite This For Me and Check. So how to write the references, you should not really stress about that. And then in MLA, we also have page numbers, but unlike APA, our page numbers has an additional something, it has a running head. So it still remains on the upper right corner of the page, but before the page number, we have the surname of the student. So it will be your surname, a small space, like just one space, and then the page number. Yes, that is generally how MLA looks like. So in both cases, if it has not been specified, we use Times New Roman font type, and we use font number 12, and the work should be double spaced. That is all for today. I hope with that you will be able to do the basics of academic writing, that is in terms of formatting. Thank you for joining in. Until next time, bye bye, and may the Lord bless you.